Okay, we are good to go. This is Neutral Zone Infraction. New shirts. Watch it. Slash that mediocre sports show. And then Randy gets sick of this, but that's me. And when Randy gets his shirt, he can make it, but that's Randy. So here we go. And I know it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make any sense because I'm watching the show. I'm watching it as we're filming it.
Well,
in fact, I'm watching it just wondering why you're on it with me.
Okay.
It's like just thinking to myself, I could be.
I was watching some.
I'm gonna have to get a camera.
You know, I was watching some of our shows, and you are the funny one, and you're not doing your job.
Sorry.
Okay, no. This is.
But you said my job was to keep you from getting drunk.
Okay, no. But we did watch the last show we watched. I did learn that I can't do these shows with a buzz because I barely make sense without a buzz. And I had a buzz, and we made fun of the show, and so no more buzzes while I do the show. I will imbibe with a drink while I do the show, but it'll be just that drink.
He says.
So anyway,
I can vouch for him, though he's only had the one so far.
And I am right in the middle of this.
If we film multiple shows, there may be slurring towards the next show.
Well, I'm right in the middle, and I like that, so that's good.
Oh,
So,
you're at the middle at the bottom. It's like, I'm just wondering, maybe we need to put like a little garbage can thing or so. You could be like Oscar.
Well,
just like a little, have a lid behind you. You'd be.
Well, anyway, what I'm doing here is, I don't know, but we are going to try talk about something that's near and dear to us, Roger Goodell. I like Roger Goodell, and I tried to back up Roger Goodell, wanted him to succeed. I thought he did a lot of really good things, and now I'm thinking, like that airplane video I showed you that I made of the Kerbal Space Program.
Yeah, was Roger Goodell in there?
No, but you know how it was crashing? That's him. He was the plane. He went up.
He went up, and now he's he went up. He did very well, and now he's kind of. It is kind of like that plane.
It is. It's crashing.
So you didn't know you were building a metaphor. You really had no idea you were doing such a thing when you made your little plane video.
Yeah.
It was a metaphor for Roger Goodell soaring to new heights and then losing a wing and dying.
I'm going to put that.
He's not dead, though.
No, I'm going to put that video on YouTube so you guys can see what I'm talking about because that's a cool plane. Now, back to Roger Goodell. I was for him, and I think he screwed up the strike. Whatever he had to do with it. I can't believe that he is the judge, the jury, and the executioner, and why the NFL Players Association signed off on that if they did.
You're doing this down here. Nobody can see that you're doing this.
I know, because every time I do it up here, it's in your face.
That's because you go over here with it.
I know, but now it's in front of my face.
Yeah,
I don't like it, so I'm going down here.
Well, but you're always complaining about your face and your hair and everything. It's like, so I would think you would want to cover it up so you wouldn't be complaining about it so much.
I don't complain about it.
You said your hair looks like a toupee.
No, because it's longer now, and it does. I'll get it.
It's like you and Goodell both have that in common.
What?
Toupees.
He wears a toupee?
No, he doesn't.
I don't wear one either.
I just wanted to start a rumor.
Really?
Just wanted to start a Roger Goodell has a toupee.
Well, he doesn't.
Gets it from Donald Trump. You notice their hair is kind of the same.
Yeah, kind of.
It is kind of the same.
Anyway, back to. I can't believe you brought up that. So back to this, and the other thing.
Hair gets mentioned a lot in our shows. I've noticed.
Thank you. You did it again. So what I'd like to say is, Goodell. First of all, back to Roethlisberger, back to that era. He is accused of assault twice.
Well, wait, let's start with a little bit of good for Roger Goodell. Let's start off with a little bit of good here. Back when Roger Goodell first started, let's give a little bit of background why we supported Roger Goodell early. Because right now it doesn't look
hugs at the beginning.
No. But when he first came out, he was very discipline oriented.
Right.
Because a lot of these players were starting to get a little too out of control. They weren't respecting the shield, and it was starting to make the owners angry. Roger Goodell came in and basically said, "I'm not going to take any more crap." And it's like, if you guys screw up, if you guys embarrass the company, and that's who you're working for the NFL. It's not, and he said this, it's not, it's not a right, it's a privilege.
Right.
You are working here, and we are allowing you to work here. Right. But if we don't want you to work here, you don't get to work here.
Okay, so you're right.
But that's what he did. He created this whole thing of where he made the players have to respect the shield. This is your job. Respect the company that you work for. So that was the good that he used to do. He was starting to take control of the league, and he was doling out punishments that at the time were just. They were they didn't seem too awful and they didn't seem too terrible. But as he has gotten more power, and this is where what you'll point out, he has kind of lost his way and he's maybe gotten too much power. But the owners and the union, the players' union, have given Goodell this power. Remember that the union signed off on all of this stuff in the last collective bargaining agreement. The union gave him this power. So go ahead and do your little...
Well, no, you talked a long time ago.
I've tried to take a long time.
Okay, and I want to just say my 2 cents is this. Oh, I totally agree.
Thanks for backing me up on that, Sean.
I got nothing. We're done. No, I would like to say, okay, we go back to Roethlisberger. He was accused more than twice, I think it was, of assault. Yes. And I'm just going to say assault. And this is the funny part. From what I understand, the charges were never brought. And he was punished for 4 games at one point.
He was accused, but charges were never brought against him.
Okay, so he was suspended for 4 games. So I find it funny. I don't want to use the word ironic because I think that would be wrong, like that song by that girl.
Alanis Morissette.
Thank you. Oh, you know that. That's good. So anyway, but I do find it funny that you would suspend him for something that he wasn't charged with, or apparently, I don't know if it happened or not. Okay, that's one thing. The truth. Okay, so you did that. Now, on the other side of that, it was pretty obvious to me that he did something.
He did something.
Okay. You don't put somebody in a... Okay, anyway, he did something. So, he's suspended for 4 games. Wow. Now, and I'll make this quickly. Let's go all the way forward. Tom Brady suspended for 4 games for...
deflating a football
which he didn't
slightly.
Which we don't...
Slightly.
We're talking about a pressure that it's just amazing to me that how little of a big deal this is. And we've covered it in more than one show, so I'm not trying to. I don't want to beat it. But what I'm trying to, so that's amazing to me. You put that in the same category as abusing a football, a very little bit.
Ben Roethlisberger, for 2 times being accused of assaulting a woman, gets a 4-game suspension. Tom Brady, who didn't actually deflate these footballs himself,
but he assaulted footballs. Okay,
somebody else took just like a half a pound of pressure out of a football. He also gets 4 games. So Ben Roethlisberger supposedly assaults a woman. No charges were brought against him because the woman wasn't going to cooperate, not enough evidence, so the justice system can't do anything. Tom Brady gets 4 games.
Well, and you know what? It was so never proven that he did that either.
That was never proven either.
He was likely to know.
But I'll tell you the Roethlisberger. Here's the reason with the Roethlisberger thing. He embarrassed the company. He wasn't suspended for what they thought he did. He was suspended for putting himself in a situation where he could end up being accused. Basically, he embarrassed the NFL. Well, that's what Roger Goodell's 4-game suspension really had to do with, was embarrassing the NFL. It was the conduct policy. So it was conduct unbecoming of an NFL player.
So Goodell thinks that, or these guys think that the having your way with a football, so to speak, is as bad as doing what. Wow, that's really good. Okay, that's one. Ray Rice, he got 2 games. And then they bring in Ray Rice and his fiancée into New York to hang out with Goodell and discuss this. Which, to me, why are you putting her on a spot like that?
Yeah.
That's really bad. And I think he's a lawyer. Really bad. You know what? I got another one here. And I know you're surprised that I'm making, you have to talk.
Well, here's the thing. The Ray Rice thing.
You just go ahead.
I'm going to add to your point. It's like Ray Rice when he was brought in with his wife. You know that when they do the problems when the woman, when the man beats up the woman,
I'm not helping
they
you.
never allow the man to be in the room when they interview the woman,
right?
So that the man cannot influence what the woman is going to say by intimidation
or partner.
Yeah, or partner. But here's the thing: Roger Goodell allowed Ray Rice to be in the room with the wife while they were so. How is he supposed to get an honest reaction out of that? Because the wife is sitting right next to the guy who punched her.
I got a point on that. Does that mean when Tom Brady goes to talk to Goodell, the football will be in the room too?
The football will be there. The football
just gets worse and worse.
It's
I got another one here for you. Let's go to Jim Irsay. And I actually like Jim Irsay. I've heard he's fun to party with.
I can't stand Jim Irsay.
I don't like him now because of the whole deflation.
I couldn't stand Jim Irsay.
So ever. Jim Irsay had an issue, had some problems, got busted. Wasn't a DUI?
He got busted for a DUI, and they found a bunch of paraphernalia and other drugs.
I love it how you know what I'm talking about. It's just amazing to me. I must truly be more interesting than I thought. However, so what was his punishment? Not the same as the player.
No. If a player would have gotten that, what do you think the player's suspension would have been?
Probably 4 games. And if he
why did Ray Rice get 2?
If he fricked with a football, maybe 2 more.
Why did Ray Rice get 2? Why did Ray Rice get 2?
It was a bad punch? I don't know.
The most brutal thing about that was that video that we all saw.
We saw it.
And Goodell gave him 2 games.
Yeah, 2.
2 games.
He said he didn't see the...
You notice I'm looking at you more because in the last video you kept pointing out I don't look at you.
I know.
So there.
I'm not turning
I'm looking at you.
Let him see the side of your freaking head.
Side of my head, the front of my head, neither one is a good angle. I don't care. You're not going to get to see anything
that's why you're off onto the side.
That's why I get as far to the... It's like if we could put something in front of me, we probably would. That's why, Sean, maybe putting your hand in front of my face all the time wasn't the worst thing.
Actually, I find you to be...
It's like Ray Rice.
Average.
Thank you. Ray Rice got all of that big suspension after public outcry. After everybody said, really, you suspended him for 2 games for punching the woman in the face, and we saw it!
Now, how about this? You got Adrian Peterson. Yep. And what I was going to say quickly back to Irsay. Irsay basically got off.
That's good that you remembered. You remembered the point. You left the topic and you came back and remembered it. You never do that.
Well, I'm going to tell you, I don't have
Sean,
a buzz.
1 beer.
I don't have a buzz. I see now.
Your brain is working.
I see how uninteresting I am when I drink. So, you made me forget what I was talking about.
Jim Irsay.
No, before that. You bring it up, I forgot.
It's like Jim Irsay. Okay, what suspension did Jim Irsay honestly get for
nothing.
having a bunch of drugs in the car?
Oh, I remembered.
Go for it.
Adrian Peterson.
Okay, Adrian Peterson.
So Adrian Peterson.
I agree.
Thank you. Adrian, what time are we on? We got to watch the time.
Oh, we still got time.
You watch the time. Adrian Peterson.
I haven't been watching it.
And I do not, my kids run wild. My kids, if you were to talk about spanking, they would. But, I don't spank, and I know I probably should have. As I get older, I realize I probably should have. They're not going to watch this. But anyway, and I get it, and so I don't agree with what he did. You don't need to hurt and leave marks. There is a section of the population that disagrees with me.
Yeah.
There are people that say, and I know people who were beat. And I mean, not beat, I shouldn't say that. Or punished, corporal punishment. It's just, I'm going to tell you what, when I was in high school, that's statute of limitations. I remember that the welding teacher, and I'm not going to say his name, he had a paddle. And I got paddled. And there were a whole bunch of us. Now, I'm not saying we didn't deserve it, okay? But you had a choice. Half hour in a compost pile, digging, or the paddle. And I still remember the one girl that got paddled. God, that would be bad nowadays.
Oh, you can't. There's no way. There's no way a teacher could put their hands on.
So anyway, this was a long time ago.
Anywhere.
And I almost said his name. God, what an ass. Anyway, I liked him.
Well, you were in high school a long time ago. He's probably dead.
Anyway, I didn't have a problem with it. It was fine. It was the times. No big deal. But what I'm getting at is here. Speaking of children, you get spanked, Brandon? Brandon doesn't either. You should. Just kidding. Anyway, so it's my neighbor kid. I was gonna say he's 6, 7. Adrian Peterson did certain things to this kid, and go in the house. As if I don't have a hard time making my freaking point. And I don't agree with it. However, I listen to Charles Barkley make his point and other people. I don't have a problem with if you want to spank, but I don't think you should leave marks. But back to this. We're talking about a year now. This has been a year and a half of what the hell was going on.
It's been about a year.
Okay.
It's been about a year.
It was a year. It was a year.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I guess I'm getting at is figure it out. Figure out. I mean, he got paid. I get it, but figure out a punishment if you need to. The law already made its point. Okay, so he's been punished in the eyes of the law.
Yeah.
What more can you do to him? I mean, he was suspended for a very, very long time.
But like I said, that's also the conduct policy. He was not conducting himself in a way that Roger Goodell felt was right. But this is once again public outcry. Public outcry said that when he got hit with the switch. Now that's a punishment that not a lot of people even remember. Where they say, "Go cut me a switch," and then they
mother used to have to climb a tree and get a switch.
So it's an old punishment. It doesn't happen anymore. Down in some areas, it still does, but it's not common.
And it does happen. And yeah,
but
like you said,
here's the problem: 90% of Americans who are parents do not believe in this anymore. They don't believe in punishment with physical violence.
We got multimedia. You're grounded.
Yeah,
they would rather be smacked.
It's like you threatened to take when I used to get grounded as a kid. It's like I went to my room where it's like that's where all of my stuff was. It's like it's not a punishment. I'm going and I'm going to play my video games, play on my computer, watch TV. I've got everything I need.
And they didn't figure that out.
It's like, no, my parents didn't know how to unhook all that stuff. They weren't tech savvy.